Taehyung could not remember a time when he was not haunted by shadows as a child. He had been bugged by nightmares of a girl with a face shrouded in darkness. He could never remember her feature when he woke up, only the overwhelming sense of loss and sorrow that lingered long after the dream ended. As he grew older, the nightmare became less frequent, but the feeling of being watched never left him. It was as if someone was always there, just out of sight, lingering in the privacy of his vision. He shrugged it off as paranoia, a remember of his childhood fears, but deep down he knew it was more than that. One rainy evening, Taehyung found himself wandering through as an old, abandoned part of town. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and decay, and the streets were deserted save for the occasional stray cat scurrying into the shadows. He had no reason to be there, but something compelled him to keep walking. His footsteps echoes of the crumbling buildings around him. He turned a corner and stopped dead in his tracks. Just standing in the middle of the road was a girl. She was drenched from the rain, her long dark hair clinging to her face and shoulders. She wore a white dress, now stained with mud and water, and her bare feet were gagged with dirt. The young heart pounded in his chest. He took a tentative step forward. Are you okay? He called out, his voice trembling. The girl looked up, and for the first time the young saw her face clearly. She was beautiful with delicate features and large, expressive eyes. But there was something otherworldly about her, something that made the young's blood run cold. The girl smiled a sad, wistful smile. You don't remember me, do you? The young shook his head, confused and fears filling in his mind. No, I don't. Who are you? My name is Ryan, she said. We were friends a long time ago. The young's mind raced. He did not remember any girl named Ryan from his childhood, but there was something familiar about her. Something that tagged at the edge of his memory. I'm sorry, I don't remember, he said, his voice barely a whisper. Ryan stepped closer and the young felt a chill run down his spine. It's okay, she said gently. You will. Before he could react, Ryan reached out and touched his hand. The world around him burned and shifted, and the young felt himself being pulled into a whirlwind of memories. He saw flashes of a young girl laughing and playing in a sunlight meadow. He saw her face, her bright smile, and heard her voice full of joy and innocence. Then the memories turned dark. He saw the girl lying in a hospital bed. Pale and fragile, he saw herself a younger version. Sitting by her side, holding her hand and crying, he felt the crushing weight of loss and grief as he watched her take her last breath. One voice broke through the memories, soft and gentle. You promised you would never forget me. The young's eyes snapped open and he found himself back on the desert street, while standing in the front of him. Tears streamed down his face as the memories flowed back. Ryan, he whispered, I remember now. Ryan smiled, a bittersweet smile. I have been with you all this time, the young. I could not leave you. The young reached out of to touch her, but his hand passed through her like smoke. You are a ghost, he said, the realization drawing on him. Why nodded. I died when we were children, but my spirit has been bound to you, unable to move on. Ryan's expression turned somber because you have not let go. Your grief and guilt have kept me here. The young felt a lump from in his throat. I'm sorry, Ryan. I did not mean to. Ryan shook her head. It's not your fault, the young, but you need to forgive yourself. Only then can I be free. The young closed his eyes. He weight of his emotion crushing over him. How do I do that? He asked. Ryan's voice was soft and reassuring. Remember the good times we had. Remember the joy and laughter. Let go of the pain and guilt, and know that I will always be with you in your heart. The young opened his eyes, and one was gone. The rain had stopped, and the street was really quiet, but the oppressive feeling of the being washed had lifted, replaced by a sense of peace. He took a deep breath and started to walk back home, his mind filling with memories of Ryan. He knew it would not be easy. But he was determined to honor her memory and let go of the guilt that had haunted him for so long. As he walked, he felt a warmth in his chest, a presence that he knew was Ryan. She was no longer a shadow in the corners of his vision, but a light that would guide him through the darkness. As for the first time in a long time, the young felt a glimmer of hope. Years passed and Taehyung moved on with his life. He finished his studies, started a career, and even found love. But he never forgot Ryan. He often visited her grave, bringing flowers and talking to her as if she were still there. One evening, as the sun set and the sky turned a deep shade of orange, Taehyung stood by Ryan's grave, lost in thought. He placed a bouquet of her favorite flowers on the ground and knelt down, touching her name etched into the stone. Hey Ryan, he said softly. It's been a while. The breeze rustled the leaves of the navy trees. The Tahyans felt a familiar warmth involved him. He closed his eyes, letting the feeling was over him. I wanted to thank you, he continued, for being with me, for helping me find peace. I miss you every day, but I know we are in a better place now. A single tear rolled down his cheek, but this time it was not a tear of sorrow, it was a tear of gratitude and love. As the last rays of sunlight dipped below the horizon, Taehyung stood up and took a deep breath. He felt lighter, as if a great burden has been lifted from his shoulders. I will never forget you, Ryan, he said, a smile playing on his lip. Thank you for everything. With one last look at the grave, Taehyung turned and walked away, knowing that Ryan's spirit would always be with him, guiding him through life, and in that moment he felt truly at peace.